The Automatic Millionaire, by David Bach. Introduction. I want to tell you a story. It's a story about a man named Jim McIntyre. Jim was a middle manager at a local utility company. A perfectly ordinary man in his early 50s. He wore short-sleeved dress shirts with one of those plastic pocket protectors in the breast pocket. On his wrist, not a Rolex, but an 18-year-old Timex. He drove a Ford Taurus. By all appearances, Jim was the definition of average. One day, he walked into the office of a young financial advisor named David Bach. Jim's wife, Sue, a beautician with bright blonde highlights, was holding his hand like they were high school kids on a first date. They were bubbling with excitement. Jim announced he was planning to retire next month. The young advisor was stunned. He knew Jim's story. 30 years at the same company, never earning much more than $40,000 a year. How could this man possibly afford to retire at 52? The math just didn't add up. The advisor gently tried to manage their expectations, explaining that most people can't afford to retire even at 65. Jim just smiled, a calm, serene smile, and handed over a stack of financial documents. What the advisor saw next changed his life forever. The McIntyres had no debt. None. No car loans, no credit card balances, not even a mortgage. They owned 2 homes, free and clear. Their retirement accounts held over $700,000. They had another $250,000 in bonds and cash. Their net worth was approaching $2 million. This ordinary couple, earning a modest, combined income, had secretly become multimillionaires. How? They didn't win the lottery. They didn't inherit a fortune. They didn't get lucky in the stock market. Their secret was so simple, so powerful, and so automatic, that almost anyone can use it to achieve the same results. That secret is the heart of a book that has sold over 1.5 million copies and transformed the financial lives of people all over the world. It's called The Automatic Millionaire, and its author is that young financial advisor, David Bach, who learned the most important lesson of his career that day from Jim and Sue McIntyre. What I'm about to share with you isn't just a summary of a book. It's a blueprint. A one-step plan that you can set up in less than an hour. A system that works without budgets, without discipline, and without ever having to feel like you're depriving yourself. By the end of our time together, you will understand the single, powerful truth that can put you on the path to becoming a millionaire, no matter what your income is today. You'll learn how to get rich in your sleep. And it all starts with one simple decision. Book summary. So what was the great secret the McIntyres knew? When David Bach pressed them, they laughed. They told him he already knew this stuff. He taught it in his classes every day. The only difference was, they had actually lived it. Their parents had taught them one simple, common-sense rule about money. A rule so powerful it's the foundation of all wealth. And it's this: pay yourself first. Now, you've probably heard that phrase before. But what does it really mean? Most of us, when we get a paycheck, do the exact opposite. We pay everyone else first. We pay the landlord, the car company, the government, the credit card companies. And then, if there's anything left over at the end of the month, we think about saving it. Of course, there's rarely anything left over. The McIntyres were taught to flip that script entirely. The very first bill they paid, from every single paycheck, was the bill to their own future. Before they paid anyone else, they paid themselves. But here's the crucial part, the detail that makes all the difference. They didn't rely on willpower. They admitted they weren't disciplined people. In the beginning, they tried budgeting, but it just led to fights and frustration. It didn't work. So they did something else. They made the decision to pay themselves first, and then they took themselves completely out of the equation. They made it automatic. They arranged for a portion of their pay to be taken directly out of their paychecks and sent to their savings and retirement accounts before they ever saw it. Before it ever hit their checking account. The secret, they explained, is that you can't spend money you don't see. Once the system was set up, it ran on its own. It required no discipline, no budgeting, no arguments. It was a foolproof, automatic system for building wealth. They called it protecting yourself from yourself, and it's the core idea of this entire book. If your financial plan is not automatic, you will fail. But this raises the first big question most people have. Where does this money you're paying yourself even come from? Especially if you feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck right now. This brings us to the first, and perhaps most famous, idea from the book, the Latte Factor. David Bach tells a story from one of his investment classes. A young woman named Kim stood up and challenged him. She said, "David, your ideas are good in theory, but they're not for real people. You talk about saving $5 or $10 a day, but I don't have $5 or $10 a day. I'm barely making ends meet." Instead of arguing, David asked her to walk him through a typical day. It started, she admitted, with a stop at Starbucks for a double non-fat latte and a non-fat muffin. The cost? $5. Before she even got to work, she'd already spent $5. Then there was the juice break mid-morning. Another $5. Before lunch, she had spent over $10 on small, seemingly insignificant things. And here is where the aha moment happened. Bach pulled out his calculator. He showed her that if she, at age 23, could find just $5 a day to save instead of spend, and invested it in a retirement account earning a historical market average of 10%, she wouldn't have $100,000 by the time she retired. Or even $500,000. She would have nearly $1.2 million. Kim was floored. She finally said, "Are you trying to tell me that my lattes are costing me nearly $2 million? And the whole class shouted, "Yes." That is the latte factor. It's not about coffee. It could be your cigarette factor, your bottled water factor, your takeout factor. We all have these small, daily expenditures that we don't even think about, money that just leaks out of our wallets. David Bach's point is profound. You don't have to earn more money to become rich. You probably already make enough. The secret is to find those little leaks and redirect that money to your future, automatically. Building wealth isn't about making one giant, heroic sacrifice. It's about making a series of small, painless, and automatic course corrections. Finding $5 or $10 a day isn't about depriving yourself. It's about realizing that those small things can add up to life-changing amounts of money over time. So, once you've identified your latte factor, once you realize you do have the money, the next step is to put that pay-yourself-first principle into action. How much should you pay yourself? David Bach suggests a simple, powerful benchmark. Work 1 hour a day for yourself. Think about it. The average person works about 90,000 hours over their lifetime. Most of that time, you're working for your boss, for the government, for the bank. But how many hours are you working for your own future? If you earn, say, $50,000 a year, that's about $25 an hour. 1 hour of your work each day is $25. If you work 5 days a week, that's $125 a week. That's $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year. It comes out to about 12% of your gross income. The book recommends starting with at least 10%. That's your first hour of the day. It belongs to you. And here's where the system becomes truly elegant. You don't pay yourself after taxes. You pay yourself before taxes. The government, Bach points out, is pretty smart. They figured out a long time ago that people are terrible at budgeting and saving money to pay their taxes in one lump sum. So, They created a system to pay themselves first. It's called withholding. Before you ever see your paycheck, they've already taken their cut. Automatically. You need to do the same thing. You need to muscle your way to the front of the line, even ahead of the government. And you can do this, legally, by using tax-advantaged retirement accounts. If you work for a company that offers a 401k or a 403b plan, this is your golden ticket. It is, as Bach calls it, the mother of all retirement accounts. The money you contribute goes in pre-tax. This means every dollar you save reduces your taxable income by $1. Let's make that real. Imagine you decide to save $100. If you just put it in a regular savings account, you first have to earn about $130, pay $30 in taxes, and then you can save your $100. But with a 401k, you put the full $130 straight into your account. The government doesn't touch it. It's like getting an immediate 30% return on your money. And it gets even better. Many companies offer a match. This is free money. They might match 50 cents for every dollar you contribute, up to a certain percentage of your salary. If you are not contributing enough to get the full company match, you are literally turning down a 50 or 100% risk-free return on your investment. It is the single biggest investment mistake you can make. So, the first automatic step is to sign up for your company's retirement plan, contribute at least enough to get the full match, and ideally, work your way up to 10, 12, or even 15% of your income. You fill out one form, one time, and the system runs forever. That's it. Now, what if you don't have a plan at work, or you're self-employed? Don't worry. You can open your own personal retirement account, called an IRA, or an individual retirement account. There are a few different kinds, like a traditional IRA where your contributions might be tax-deductible, or a Roth IRA, where you contribute with after-tax money, but then all the growth and withdrawals in retirement are completely tax-free. For self-employed people, there are even more powerful options like a SEP IRA or a solo 401k. The specific account isn't the most important part. The most important part is that you open one, and you set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to that retirement account every single payday. The bank or brokerage firm where you open the account can help you set this up in minutes. You just have to ask. You automate your retirement savings first. That is your number one priority. This is the money that will compound for decades and grow into a fortune. But what about the present? What about emergencies? This brings us to the next layer of the automatic system, automating for a rainy day. Bach introduces something he calls the sleep well at night factor. Do you have enough cash on hand right now to cover your expenses if you lost your job tomorrow? For most people, the answer is a terrifying no. They have less than 3 months' worth of expenses saved. Many have less than 1. This creates a constant, low-grade financial stress that follows them everywhere. An automatic millionaire prepares for life's unexpected changes. Your goal is to build an emergency fund with at least 3 months' worth of living expenses. A year's worth is even better, as that gives you what Bach calls take this job and shove it money. It's the ultimate freedom. But here's the key, this money needs to be in the right place, and it needs to be built automatically. You don't just leave it in your checking account, where it's easy to spend and earn zero interest. You open a separate, high-yield savings or money market account. These are safe, liquid accounts that pay you interest on your money. Then, you automate it. You set up another automatic transfer. Every payday, right after your retirement contribution is taken out, a portion of your paycheck, say 5% of your take-home pay, goes directly into this emergency account. You do this consistently until the account is full. Then you can redirect that money elsewhere. But you build that cushion first, automatically, so that when life happens, and it will, you're prepared. You won't have to raid your retirement funds or go into debt to handle a crisis. Now we come to what Bach considers one of the most powerful wealth-building secrets of all. Once you have your future and your emergency fund being funded automatically, it's time to focus on automatic debt-free homeownership. You can't get rich renting. That's a line you'll hear again and again. When you rent, you're paying someone else's mortgage. You could spend $500,000 on rent over 30 years and have nothing to show for it. But when you buy a home, that same money builds equity. It builds wealth. The statistics are staggering. The median net worth of a homeowner is often more than 30 times that of a renter. Owning real estate, starting with the roof over your head, is how most people in this country build real, lasting wealth. But just buying a home isn't enough. The goal is to own it, free and clear, as quickly as possible. This is where most people get tripped up by the traditional 30-year mortgage. For the first 10 years of a 30-year loan, over 90% of your payment goes straight to the bank as interest. You build very little equity. You're working for the bank, not for yourself. So, how do you beat this system? You automate it. Bach reveals a simple but brilliant strategy: the bi-weekly mortgage payment plan. Here's how it works. You take your monthly mortgage payment, let's say it's $2,000. Instead of paying that once a month, you pay half of it, or $1,000, every 2 weeks. Because there are 26 two-week periods in a year, you end up making 26 half payments. That's the equivalent of 13 full monthly payments. You make just one extra payment a year, broken up into tiny, painless pieces. The result? You can shave anywhere from 5 to 10 years off your mortgage. You can save tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest. On a typical $250,000 mortgage, this simple switch could save you over $44,000 and get you debt-free almost a decade earlier. You can often set this up directly through your lender or a third-party service. Or, you can do it yourself by simply adding an extra 10% to your monthly payment, or making one full extra payment a year, making sure to tell the bank it should be applied directly to the principal. The key, as always, is to make those extra payments automatic so you never have to think about it. This brings us to the final piece of the debt puzzle, the one that destroys more financial futures than anything else: credit card debt. An automatic millionaire, Bach states clearly, does not do debt. If you are carrying credit card debt, paying 18, 20, or even 25% interest, you are in a financial emergency. It makes no sense to have money earning 1% in a savings account while you're paying 20% to a credit card company. You're playing a losing game. So, if you have credit card debt, the plan changes slightly. You still pay yourself first into your retirement account, but perhaps you start with a smaller percentage. You build up a small emergency fund, maybe just 1 month's worth of expenses, and then you attack the debt with everything you have. Bach offers a systematic way to do this called DULP, which stands for Done on Last Payment. The idea is to tackle your debts one by one, creating momentum and a feeling of progress. Here's the system. You list all your credit cards. For each card, you divide the total balance by the minimum monthly payment. This gives you your DULP number. You then focus all of your extra debt repayment money on the card with the lowest DULP number, while making only the minimum payments on the others. Why the lowest DULP number? Because that's the debt you can pay off the fastest. It gives you a quick win. Once that first card is paid off, you close the account, cut up the card, and you feel a huge psychological victory. Then you take all the money you were paying on that first card and add it to the payment for the card with the next lowest DULP number. You create a debt snowball that gets bigger and bigger, knocking out your debts one by one until you are free. And, of course, you automate these payments. You set up automatic transfers for the minimums on all your cards, and an extra large automatic payment for the one you're focused on. You make getting out of debt just as automatic as getting into it was. Once your retirement is automated, your emergency fund is automated, your mortgage is being paid down faster automatically, and your debts are being eliminated automatically, there is one final, and perhaps most fulfilling, step. And that is to make a difference with automatic tithing. Bach shares that becoming an automatic millionaire isn't just about accumulating money. It's about living a rich life. And a rich life involves giving back. The principle of tithing, giving a portion of what you earn back to causes you care about, is a spiritual and financial principle that has been around for centuries. He argues that you don't have to wait until you're rich to start giving. You can start now, and you can automate it. Whether it's 1% of your income or 10%, you can choose a charity or a cause that matters to you and set up a small, recurring, automatic donation. There's something magical that happens when you give. You start to feel wealthy right now, today. You shift your mindset from one of scarcity, of never having enough, to one of abundance. You realize you have enough to take care of your future, and enough to help others. The more you give, the more abundance seems to flow back into your life. It's the final piece of the puzzle that turns the mechanics of wealth building into a truly rich and meaningful life. So let's put it all together. What does this automatic system look like? Bach calls it the Automatic Millionaire Blueprint. Your salary or income is automatically direct deposited into your checking account. From there, the automatic transfers begin. First, your pre-tax retirement contribution is pulled out and sent to your 401k or IRA. That's you, paying yourself first. Next, automatic transfers shoot off from your checking account to your other priority buckets, one to your rainy day emergency fund, one to a dream account for your goals, like a down payment or a vacation. Then, your bills are paid automatically. Your mortgage, your utilities, and at least the minimums on your credit cards. This ensures you are never late, never hit with fees, and your credit score stays healthy. Finally, a small automatic donation goes to the charity of your choice. What's left in your checking account is yours to spend, guilt-free. You don't need a budget because the big, important things have already been taken care of. You've paid your future self, you've saved for emergencies, you've paid down your home, you've paid your bills, and you've given back. The system is set. You did it once. And now you can get on with your life, knowing that every single day, your wealth is growing, automatically, in the background. That is the promise and the power of becoming an automatic millionaire. Commentary. When you step back and look at the Automatic Millionaire, what's so remarkable about it is its profound simplicity. In a world that often makes personal finance feel impossibly complex, filled with jargon, complicated strategies, and the constant pressure to pick the right stock or time the market, David Bach's message cuts through all that noise with one liberating idea: the system is more important than your discipline. What he understood, perhaps better than anyone before him, is that we are all human. We get busy. We get tired. We get tempted. Relying on willpower to consistently make good financial decisions every single day is a losing battle. It's like trying to hold your breath underwater. You might be able to do it for a little while, but eventually, your instincts will take over. The genius of the automatic system is that it acknowledges this human reality and builds a structure around it. It requires you to be smart and disciplined for just 1 hour. In that 1 hour, you set up the automatic transfers, you enroll in the 401k, you make the calls. And after that, the system takes over. It makes the right decisions for you, over and over again, month after month, year after year, without you having to think about it. It's financial success on autopilot. This is a fundamental shift away from the traditional, painful idea of budgeting. Budgeting is about deprivation. It's about tracking every penny and constantly telling yourself no. It feels like a diet. And we all know what happens with most diets. The automatic plan is about freedom. It's about saying yes to the things that truly matter: your future, your security, your home, your dreams, and automating that yes. Once those priorities are handled, you are free to enjoy the rest of your money without guilt or anxiety. I think this is why the book has resonated with millions of people. It's not just a set of financial tactics, it's a philosophy for a less stressful, more intentional life. It gives you permission to stop beating yourself up for not being a perfect, hyper-disciplined financial robot. It shows you that you can achieve extraordinary results with ordinary effort, as long as that effort is directed at creating a system that works for you, instead of against you. If you take just one thing away from our time together today, let it be this: your financial future will be determined not by the size of your paycheck, but by the power of your systems. So, how can you start today? Right now, I'd suggest 3 very small, very simple actions. First, for just one day, track your Latte Factor. Don't judge it, just notice it. Carry a small notebook or use an app on your phone and write down every single penny you spend. You might be shocked at what you find. That awareness is the first step. Second, make one phone call or visit one website. Go to your company's HR portal or call them and ask for the paperwork for your 401k plan. Just get the forms. That's it. See what your company match is. This one small action can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to you over your lifetime. And third, log into your bank account online and set up one automatic, recurring transfer. Just one. It could be $25 a week moving from your checking account to a separate savings account that you label emergency fund. Watch it happen. Feel what it's like to save money without even trying. These small steps, taken today, are the beginning of a new trajectory. They are the start of your own automatic system. That was a summary of The Automatic Millionaire by David Bach. We've certainly covered the core framework today, but I'll be honest with you, a summary is like looking at a photograph of a beautiful landscape. It can show you the scenery, but it can't make you feel the sun on your skin or the breeze in the air. The real magic of this book happens when you read it for yourself. It's in the simple, encouraging tone of the stories, the way a specific example might spark an idea just for you. This summary is designed to give you a map. If anything we've discussed today has made you feel a sense of hope or possibility, then I encourage you to get the book. Reading it isn't just about learning a system, it's about starting a journey that can genuinely change your relationship with money and with your future. You can find a link to the book in the description below. Also, if you found this journey valuable, please take a moment to click that like button and subscribe to our channel. It's the best way to ensure you don't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book from the billionaire's bookshelf. Your support helps us continue to bring these powerful ideas to more people. Let's keep learning and growing together.